Hey guys, this is Bill. So today we're going to talk about three things, and those going to be personal development, personal branding, and content authenticity. So self-development is a vast topic, and in the last video I've talked about that. How can you be the best version of yourself? Are the things that require that form what a best person can do. So when it comes to learning any skill, what you need is not just the skill set, but also the applicability, the practicality of that skill set. And you have to hone in those things deeper into your vision. You're going to encounter people who study uh, things, but they have no practical knowledge about those. They never practice those things. So the example I've got is, for example, you want to be masters in computer software development, and there are two routes. First one, you can take the approach which goes by traditional one. You can study those things, and then at the end of 4 years you start. And the other approach is just start practically doing the project, and on the way forward learn. So through this mechanism, you are force forwarding what you're gonna do anyway. After the end of 4 years you're gonna start and search. So this practicality element is very important when it comes to discussing those things. And once you discuss those things with yourself, those things become more clear to you, and then you start to understand those things in a better way. So the vision has to be about just redefining your values each day, just cultivating a skill set so you can be a positive change in the world. People often comes and they say, "Oh, how can I learn the language? Or how long it gonna take me to learn a language?" So those things are very uh, variable depending on what sort of thing you want to learn and what are you working on. So I cannot give you a very uh, deeper meaning of those things. So for you, it's going to be different. Why you want to learn a language, and then the process is going to be, if you want to learn a language, you're going to take a course, and then after 4 or 5 years, you starting to speak, and this duration gonna be long. So why advice instead is just start practicing at the very start. Use the standard approach, listening, a lot of Anki, and those things gonna help you out in the long run. So to learn a language, you need not just the language. No, you need the persistence, and that persistent gonna help you analyze those things. And once you be persistent with your language journey, each day you are making your cards and you are putting in the effort. You're learning about new concepts, and you are also revising the vocabulary you learned earlier. So very soon you're gonna see the real changes, and those changes will help you improve your skill set. And it always gonna come at the cost of your time. It's a law of mental exhaustion. So to do that thing better than the rest of the people, you have to find the flow. You might have read the book Flow, and that book talk about finding your delicate balance between the task. The task doesn't have to be too dull that you get bored, and not too difficult that you cannot be willing to perform and get that dopamine release into your brain. So cultivating and finding that pattern or balance is going to take time. So your focus is also muscle, and what muscle gonna need is practice. So first you're gonna start with the practice. You're gonna sit down, you're gonna study, and each day you're gonna study. Like, let's say you are trying to build a habit. So how can you build a habit? It's gonna take 2-3 elements. Let's combine those. So habit needs continuity of your pattern, and that pattern has to exist so you can tinker with the pattern. You can channel it, you can use it for your own productivity. So they say they're not bad habits, they are just habits. and there are habits that's gonna screw you in like 10 years time, and the habits that's gonna build you in 10 years time. So you have to be very specific with those. So Danko has an important say on this. He talk about the power of writing, and the power of writing is you have to write stuff down to really organize your brain and understand the pattern, what you're going to talk about. So those things has to be established first, and then comes the power of your self-belief. Like you have to reinvent yourself each day. You have to wake up and you have to see, okay, where are the uh, there are other points in my life where I can make tiny bit changes, and that changes will result in the betterment of me in 10 years' time, 20 years' time. So you have to give those, you have to do those things, and eventually you get to the point where you'll be like, okay, there's something I can do, there's something I can practice, and those practicality gonna be applicable in your own life. So that's about reinvention. And the deep focus I've talked about earlier is the finding the delicate balance between the task. The task gonna be very futile, very exhausting, and once you find that task very exhausting, it's gonna take quite a lot of effort to find the flow that you are desiring. And you're not gonna find it from the day one. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in those extra hours, and then gradually you're gonna cultivate the habit. So even once we are like trying to build in something new, trying to build in something protective, we have to be keen that the concept we're trying to build are represented in the real world as well. So you have to be the Torah, the perfect example of those verbs. For example, I've tried learning Turkish language, but it took me quite a while because I wasn't going any steady approach. One day I was watching something, and then 3 days after I was listening a song, and then a week passed by, and I'm still stuck at the same uh, pattern. So the consistency element is important, and not just important, but crucial for the self development and pushing you forward, so you can find the purpose sooner in your life. And uh, so it's always about just finding the delicate balance. And I've talked about the personal branding, like you are your own brand, because there's no one like you. You are your own niche. The thing you're gonna do, the thing you're not gonna do, those are the things that's gonna um, define you in 10 years' time, 20 years' time. So the practicality element is that defining your own uh, values. And once you start defining your values, once you're clear into your mind, and then you can have it. So it's not like, okay, I'm gonna learn that skill and then I'm gonna apply that skill as well. It's gonna take some effort, it's gonna take some more pushing. Once you do that, you'll find the delicate balance, and you'll be like, okay, that's something I can work on. And if you find that delicate balance, just keep pushing, keep moving forward. And that's how we get better, that's how we cultivate the pattern which can produce a skill set which we can work on. So you've heard the example of syphilis, a guy who rolled a ball or the rock up the mountain, then it goes down, it can roll down again, and then the syphilis again, keep pushing. So you have to be syphilis in your own projection. You have to project yourself to the outer world as the version you want to be, and those things not going to be far different than what you imagine, because in 3 to 4 years time or 5 years time, eventually you're gonna get to the point where your proximity gonna be some matching with your mentality. And then when you're gonna find out, okay, that's something I've always thought I would do, but now I'm exactly at the point where I'm doing it. So that's what's matter in the long run. Your own opinion of yourself, and opinions can be backed by the amount of work you put in. And the amount of work you put in are always gonna be the crucial force. So that force can either deliver you the whole totality of that, or you can work to just be the change, be the light. And I would not like overanalyze those things, but at the end, you are the person who needs certain thing in life. But once you get to the level where you're like, okay, I'm gonna work on that thing, and eventually I'm gonna have that thing, you're gonna have that thing. So we talk about the power of writing, we talk about the continuous reinvention. Then comes the deep focus and purpose. So 12 hours works each day. If you're putting it 10 to 12 hours, soon you'll be like, okay, that's something I'm doing. That's sort of a person I am. That will build that self affirmation, that idea that you can be better than you are. And then you have to be future proof skill development. These are gonna be the things you're gonna need in your future, so you can have the job security and you can build your own versatile business out of that. So it's going to be just finding that sweet spot between your love and what's demanded out there in the real world. So it's going to be crypto, someday it's going to be drop shipping. Those are all things you have to learn about. Those things, give them a try, and maybe they don't work out for you, maybe they will. So who knows? At least once you go through the rigorous routine of trying, it's what we call trial and error. And then you're gonna find, okay, so that balance is working for me. It's working, and I'm being each day I'm putting a little bit of more effort to be sort of a person who can improve the life of other people around me. So to have that idea and to practically impose that idea on yourself, and then you have to readjust your life. You have to readjust your life in the way that you can make those tiny changes to your life, and those changes gonna give you momentum, because once you start putting your life as a game, you're born into this specific shield, you have this body, that's your vehicle, and you have a certain what you say is adventure advantages. You have certain look, you have like fighting pattern or thing. So you're gonna start improving. You have to go out, you have to explore, and then each day you're gonna explore something new, and you're gonna unravel more mysteries, and then you're gonna solve those things, and you're gonna add value to yourself, and you're gonna be a resourceful person, a person whose purpose is to get better and be the best version of yourself. So you can pick up the heaviest possible burden in the life, and that's gonna be your purpose. That's gonna give you the adrenaline, and gonna sustain you, maintain you on the path where you are going. So don't take my word for it, but listen to your own self, listen to your body, listen to the aura you captivate around you. And that aura is again finding that, okay, you put in the effort to try improving certain things, and now you're like, okay, this thing is working, but I can do this, I can do that. A little bit of change can make the things a little bit better. So once you start doing those things, you're gonna see, okay, now I find the thing which I can work on. So it's always about finding the pattern, finding the right rhythm, and then you can understand what you can do with this life. So you should have that inside you, the motivation, and you've read thousands of books, and you've read quotations, and you've seen videos over videos, and you've tried learning that thing. And if you're still not sticking, then there might be something wrong with the system that you're trying. So the system has to be corrected, and the system which you see these days in the world, like we are working under democracy, we are working under the other systems, like theocratic government in Iran, and there is a government in China which is amalgamation of dictatorship and state uh, um, corporate, what you say, the system of finance, communist party with state control system. And each and every system has its utility and it can be used. But if the people who are utilizing and using that system are not being fair in their mean to do the thing, or they don't really mean happiness or goodness for other people, that change not gonna come. So that's not that far-fetched idea. So I must advise you that whatever you do, you have to be so keen in that idea that you have to believe in the version, believe in the theocratic government, and that's how you gonna get the best out of any system. You have to have at least a level of truthfulness, a level where you'll be like, okay, if I learn this thing, I'll be a better person, I'll be a version of me that could bring a change in the life of the people around me. So you waited, and after 10 years, you're at the same spot, you're at the same spot. So that thing not gonna change the your attitude toward those things. So they're like, okay, start a podcast, and I was like, okay, it's at least if you want to talk to yourself and you want to talk about certain things in the world, and you have to observe the pattern which is going on around you. You have to have a thorough reader. You have to have concepts. At least you can talk about something. Then what gonna come is you have certain things which you've done in your life, how to ride a bike, how to ride certain things, to work in the corporate, there's certain political patterns there. So at least you have to have a know-how how the certain things work in the world. Then what you can do is you can go out and explore, and then if after each day, if you keep on pushing the buttons, you're gonna have that, you're gonna have what you wish for. But you have to want it. And what wanted mean is you have to ask yourself how my life would look like, that I would get something out of that. So these things are very easier to say, but in practicality it's hard. That we cannot find the delicate balance. We are lazy, we have certain desires, we are not in control of our own self. So sometimes we have to observe and we see, oh, that's the wretched, weird being I am. So I don't know if we ever be able to fully control our desire or emotions, but if you have certain systems in the world that you've built in, then you can run your life in a better way than the rest of the people. So don't give yourself too many options. And that's the thing I've learned in the life, that if you start giving yourself more options, you're only gonna chase the cheap dopamine. So you'll be sitting in and jerking off again and watching the porn, or missing your spiritual patterns in the life, the spiritual the patterns of life where your spirit has to be aligned. So if you're not doing those things, if you're not working out, if you're not being a good person, if you're not maintaining those relationships, they're gonna start eroding. And one day at a time, they kept on eroding to the point where you'll be like, okay, now they're inexistent. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. So at least you should be fair in the mean that after doing certain things, you want the applicability of those things. You have to have at least a desire to be a better version of in that specific thing. So yeah, that's what I mean when you start learning certain things, and you don't have gonna have enough concepts to talk about. So, for example, you're sort of person who likes boxing, and now you want to be the person who can box each day. What you can do, what are the steps you can take to make sure that you can do 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever minutes you go and you do the punching. So in the book Atomic Habits, he explained this thing, like at least you have to do it for the 2 minutes each day. If you want to be a good typer, start doing it for 2 minutes, that's it. After that, you're going to leave it. And if you kept on doing that, eventually you'll have that pattern genetic, and now that's part of your rhythm, part of who you are. So now you can tweak around and you can add or detect as per the possibility, because now you've gotten to the point where at least it's a part of your rhythm, and now you can extract a little bit of time and effort from the rest of the areas where you're just wasting your resources, wasting your effort, and not being a human which can build something. So once you start doing that, you'll see that you can do a lot of those things, and you can learn language, you can learn be a boxer, you can learn to be a good parent, a good husband, a good in a good relationship. So you're gonna learn those things by breaking your heart, by each day you're gonna wake up and you have certain patterns and you're like, okay, today might be a good day, today might not be a good day, but you have to have the optimism at least to build in your life. So earlier as I was doing was I was trying to find the good routine system, and Notion is the best app out there. Everyone out there is using that. You can use just a notepad as well, but at least it gives you illusion that your life has certain pattern, and then you can go around and just follow that pattern and you'll be like, okay, that's good. At least it's keeping you maintaining your rhythm and adhering you. So all I talk about in this is that your life has infinite amount of things that you can possibly do, and you're not gonna do all those things at the same time. You're gonna test and see. You're gonna have good at least few things that you can compromise as on health. I cannot say this more. Never. I've gone through certain health crises, and then I only realized that what's like the blissful thing it is, and then comes the job or the career. If you are career oriented, so you should have some steam where you are earning certain things, and you can only do that if you have a skill set that you can provide to the world, because there's infinite value already there, and you only want certain person to believe certain things to give you money because it's out there. They have like billions and billions of rupees or dollars out there, and the only way you can have that is align yourself to be a place at the time where the transaction is happening and the skill set is being exchanged. You could be a vlogger, you could be a blogger, you could be a $1 million scientist or the doctor, but at the end, if you limitize yourself in certain version, that okay, I'm this sort of a person, that these are the things only I'm good at, you are hypnotizing your brain into believing that you are a limited being. You are not. You have this value you can give to the world. You have this energy inside you. You've learned those things and you've studied those things. You've read those things. These are all part of you. These are all inside you, residing and just waiting for the movement to come out. So what you're gonna do? You're gonna just like keep those things sit there and just keep on waiting that maybe one day you'll let those things out. What's the point of that? So you better at least develop the urgency that you know life not gonna get better. No one is coming to save you or guide you out, and your own journey gonna be filled with heartbreaks, betrayals. Sometimes you're gonna break other people's heart, and that's how you're gonna grow. That's how you're gonna learn your first heartbreak, first betrayal. Those things gonna give you lessons, and those lessons you're gonna just keep on collecting. Just keep on collecting in your arsenal and just extracting the meaningful outcome out of those. In future, you can navigate your life in the pattern where you can just go around that thing, so you don't have to do that thing. Or if you even if you encounter that thing up front, you'll feel nothing because you already gone through that. You already extracted the lesson, and now you extracted the meaning out of them. So this is not a new thing for you anymore. It's same thing for the different clothing. So essence of the video was that first of all you have to develop the skill to write, because writing gonna give you the clarity, the mental clarity which you're gonna need in this world to excel at whatever you do. Doesn't matter, you have to write stuff down, you have to clear your thought. Mental housekeeping, that what the word is, that you have to be a sort of a person who can do that, then the sheer focus of your effort should be on the task. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in the effort that, okay, I'm doing certain task, and how long it's gonna take me if I keep on this route to attain certain things. So then you analyze your life. Okay, I can have 1 year, 10-year goal, and 1 year goal, then the 1 month goal, and the 1 week goal, and the daily goal. Those things gonna like keep you aligned with who you are, with your personality, and this is the version that you want to change. So you have to be sort of a person who has these things inside you that you want to get better at whatever you do. So, and then you're gonna go out. You have to just expose yourself to the world, and this is a trial. People, your first video not gonna be very good. It's all right, and your second video might not be good, like you're watching right now. But the thing is, if you're putting in the effort and you're like, okay, um, it's gonna get eventually better. It reminds me of an example of the class. They divided the class into two sections. One section was told to uh, create, they're gonna be marked on the base of the number of clay pots they will create. And the other, they've been told that you have to come up with just one clay pot, but it has to be extraordinary. What happened was, so the group that was assigned that you have to make like this amount of clay pots, so they're like 100 marks, so one clay pot gonna be 1 mark, and so they built in 100 clay pots, and the other group just kept on thinking and thinking, and the outcome was those who created that thing, once they've reached 100, and that was so much better and so much extraordinary than the one that created by the group, who were very precise in everything, because they didn't go to trial and error. The more you practice, the more time you try. Each time you're gonna run away at certain things, a certain pattern, a certain beauty. So that's how you're gonna get better. So at the very end, what you need is the clarity of your brain, and the task has to be in a way that you have to think about it. You don't have to waste your time thinking. It's just gonna go with the flow. You're gonna have the system inbuilt that gonna give you that margin that you're gonna keep getting better. So the essence of the video is that we're not gonna get better by just thinking and ruminating about certain things. We have to take the action, and that action has to be driven by the purpose. Once you have the desire to do certain things, once you have a desire that's built in, okay, what you want to do in the world, I want to bring this sort of a change. So I like robotics, I like brain. I was never good in traditional study mechanisms, never ever. But at certain things I was good at, like I was good at communication. Or like, at least let's say when it comes to, like, I was good at rapping. I was a good rap star, and I was good at sports. Like I was very persistent with that. I've played table tennis, and I like nobody played better than I did, because I've learned a hack through during my time, and that was from my boxing experience. That you have to watch the sport to learn the sport, and that was like a revolutionary change. I started watching those Olympic level players, and they play how they hold the racket, and what are the shots like. This is the shot, and then the backhand, and the forehand, and then how you spin the ball, and I've saw those things, and eventually, as far as I kept watching, they're starting to become part of me. I starting extracting certain things out of that, and it helped me improve my game in the long run. And in start, I wasn't winning at all. Like 2, 3, 4 months, I was like just getting beaten up. But after that, nobody could come closer, and that was revolutionary, because that's a compound effect. I rebound later, and I won like countless medal in that. So the thing is that the consistency has to be aligned with your purpose, and then the effort and then you're gonna reap, then you're gonna have what you're looking for. So yeah, on the one word I'm gonna end the video is gonna be stay consistent with your dreams. You can achieve them. Thank you.